My pants are gradually turning black. What's going on? Are they finally developing that magical non-stick seasoning? Will they eventually turn pitch black? Is it a good thing? I think I ate a flake of that stuff in my steak the other day. Well, it turns out that those shiny, deep black patches are called carbon buildup. And in this video, we will explore everything about it. What is it? What does it do? Should we care? Do we need to fix it? How do we fix it? Is it possible to avoid?
Hi, I'm Papa Mao. I'm here to encourage people use healthier and long-lasting cookware as a way to care for their loved ones and for the environment. In my channel, I show how easy it is to cook with carbon steel, cast iron, and stainless steel cookware. Welcome. Let's jump in. These black patches here are called carbon buildup. It's really carbonized organic matter. It's carbonized food or carbonized bits of fat or oils. And let's start by saying that it doesn't have any health concerns, right? So carbon is one of the most common elements in nature. Carbon buildup is not seasoning. Seasoning in the context of cookware is that very thin layer of polymerized oil, hardened oil that covers the pan. And their main function is to protect the pans from rust. Seasoning creates a very slick surface, so with the right cooking technique, it can be non-stick. Carbon buildup, the carbon, can be very slick as well, so it doesn't necessarily make the pan more or less stick. Carbon buildup is a byproduct of cooking, and it happens in any type of cookware, even in non-stick Teflon, especially when those pans lose their non-stick properties. That's when the carbon starts building up in them. If you have a Teflon, an old Teflon pan at home, have a look. I bet you money that you will see those dark patches on the side of the walls of the pans. That's carbon buildup. Happens everywhere. Now, in shiny pans like stainless steel, people tend to pay more attention. Those black patches are a lot easier to spot, and people are normally willing to put more time to remove them. In more dark type of pans like cast iron or even carbon steel, those carbon buildup are a little bit more difficult to spot, and therefore people don't really pay a lot of attention into them. So they tend to stick and to stay there. So what does it do? Is it good or is it bad? The reality is that carbon buildup doesn't do anything. Having said that, there are occasions where it can affect your cooking because carbon is very brittle. So if you let the carbon build up for a long time, because of the natural changes of temperature when you are cooking, in some cases, that carbon layer can start flaking, can start cracking and becoming dislodged or disattached from the pan and can make the way into your food. When that happens and you are aware of it, you have the chance to do something about it. In some other occasions, it is believed that carbon buildup can make the cooking surface of the pan more sticky. And why is that? If you have cracks or if you have bits of and pieces of carbon buildup in the floor of the pan, you're increasing the surface, right? And you're creating some structure, microstructure, where the food can hold, can grab into it. And therefore, your cooking surface can become more sticky. That happens, you should probably consider do something about it. Should you care about having carbon buildup in your pan? Look, this is entirely a personal preference, as it is with carbon steel and cookware in general. Reality is that you can put as much dedication and time and obsession as you possibly want. Okay, this is a never-ending subject if you want to go down the rabbit hole. My personal approach is the opposite. I'm a parent of 3 kids. I don't have time, right? So I want something that's very easy to use, carefree, and that's my approach. It's very practical. So I personally don't pay attention at all to carbon buildup unless there is a reason to care about it. It normally doesn't happen. Like for reference, this pan here, this is cast iron, all right? We call it a bifera. It's an Argentinian skillet. And it's a dedicated pan for steaks. This skillet, on average, makes at least 1 steak per week. And as a reference, I've used it more than 10 years before I had to reset it. So now it's completely smooth. It was full of carbon buildup, but it wasn't really interfering in my normal cooking. I wasn't eating chunks of carbon when I had my steaks. But as soon as I started seeing those flakes coming off, I decided to just reset it. Okay, so there you go. 10 years of cooking 1 steak per week. That's what, like 500 steaks. It's a long time, right? So in the big scheme of things, it's not an issue. This is an extreme case of carbon buildup. This is my dedicated pan or pot for deep frying. So this pan is made out of copper. It's pure copper. It's a traditional type of cookware that you can find in the north of Chile, where copper is not that expensive and it's widely available. It's a great heat conductor, so it's great for frying. And it has become completely dark because I mainly use vegetable oil to do the deep fryings. Vegetable oil has a lot of fiber, and those fibers, little fibers, get carbonized over time. This pan goes into my Kamado barbecue or into the cooktop for a long time, and over the years have developed this color. This is maybe many years of cooking. It doesn't really affect the use. I don't see any flakes of carbon when I make chippies or French fries, right? Or where I fry something. So I haven't done anything about it, and I think it looks amazing. It makes me a little bit sad to strip it, but maybe I can do a little bit so you can see the original color.
Okay, there we go. That's the color of raw Chilean copper.
So carbon buildup, gives you that dark, deep black color in your pans. It looks great. It looks amazing. If you could have a carbon steel pan or a cast iron pan that has carbon buildup everywhere, but also a smooth surface that is not cracked, it's not flaky, that's amazing. If you have a pan like that, let me know. I would love to see a photo. I've seen them in restaurants. I've seen many cookware that has that really, really dark, shiny color, and that's carbon. And I would be curious to understand how do you care for it, just to avoid flaking, to avoid cracking, and to avoid creating this type of structure that can make your pan a bit more sticky. Again, for deep frying, your food is not in contact with the bottom. Never had an issue with this at all. There you go. Now, for carbon steel, if you start feeling that you have some texture, some structure in the cooking surface, you can do something quite quickly, and we will explore a few methods to do that. 3 levels of corrective actions. Level 1 is for mild carbon buildup, the one you will find most likely in the cooking surface of a pan. Pretty common when you cook steaks or chicken breast, where you have bits of pieces of food that can get carbonized, and that will hold into your pan. We will use dish liquid with chainmail. Okay, this is level 1. We see that rough surface here with a bit of sticky half-baked oil there and some carbon buildup in the middle.
I'm sorry, I totally messed up the framing of the video, but at this point you probably guessed that I'm not Steven Spielberg. So, but you get the idea. I start with the chainmail. That one is 5 millimeters loops. That's the size of the rings, right? And it's great to remove sort of larger bits of carbonized food. But then eventually, as you move into more finer carbon buildup, you need to start moving into a mesh, like I'm showing here. This is a metallic mesh.
All right, we can see that sticky oil in the middle, and most of the carbon buildup has been removed just by gently rubbing with this metallic scrub pad and dish liquid. Now we still have some in here. That part is a bit more stubborn, right? So we'll leave it for level 2. For level 2, we will use baking soda with a little bit of water. We will make a paste and we will scrub it, not gentle but not crazy. We'll make a paste here and we will leave it in soaking for a few minutes.
This method is pretty slow as well. After half an hour of waiting, then you need to be willing to put easy 20 minutes to another 30 minutes of scrubbing to get relevant results. It's a little bit better than dish liquid, but if you want to get results quicker, I would just go to level 3. I would like to quickly mention that I tried vinegar as well. I spread vinegar and left the pan for 30 minutes. Didn't get any relevant results. Vinegar is mainly for rust and to remove the original factory oil, so I wouldn't bother with this one. Now, level 3, oven cleaner. This will remove everything from the pan. That's for very serious carbon buildup. For this guy, for example, it was a bit of a pain to get it back to factory settings. I used pretty much a whole can of oven cleaner. I had to do repeat rounds because the carbon gets quite thick and it's really, really hard. It's like a rock. Some people would even go into grinding their pans, right? Again, it's personal preference. That's not something that I would personally consider, but again, you know, I'm just sharing my experience.
Where's the freaking pan?
Let me start by saying that to use oven cleaner, you should use protective equipment, not like I did here, all right? This is a caustic product and can burn your skin very easily, so be careful. This is the most effective product, easily and readily available. You can just go to a supermarket and get oven cleaner, and that will get you going. You will need to do repeat sessions to strip the pan completely. Okay, so I wasn't entirely happy with the results with the oven cleaner. So next day, I tried a different method. I put the pan on a rubbish bag and I left it there sitting in the sun for 5 hours. The results were pretty good. I think that's the way to do it, but you require more time and space, and potentially you still need to do several sessions, so it may take a few days. Remember that regardless of the method you used, you need to assume that you removed the seasoning of your pan. But don't worry, this is really, really easy to solve. Just put the oil of your preference. I like to use grapeseed oil. Spread it well on the pan. Then wipe it dry. Remove most of the oil until it really, really looks dry. And heat it until it stops smoking. Feel free to check one of my seasoning videos for a full tutorial. And of course, I cannot go to bed without cooking an egg, right? So, but I did this one with very little butter. I actually pat it dry, like removed most of the butter with a napkin. And as I said many times, it's not the amount of fat and it's not the seasoning what makes your eggs slide. It's proper cooking technique.
Carbon buildup is a normal byproduct of cooking. The best way to be on top of it is to clean our pans thoroughly every time we use them, like most people do with stainless steel. Now, that's high effort. Levels 1 or 2, it works fine for very mild carbon buildup, right? For everyday cooking, you can sort of maintain it, it's fine. If I have to clean a pan with a little bit of carbon buildup, I would go straight to oven cleaner really, because I just don't have the time, right? So I would strip it all and then I just reseason it. That is very, very easy, right? I hope this clarifies what those dark patches in our pans are and gives you some information so you can make the decision on how you want to deal with it. Thanks for watching and I see you in the next one.